Hi everybody, and welcome to the cherry tree reproductive cycle. So, cherry tree reproduction starts off with sexual reproduction, in which pollen, which is the sperm cell in plants, travels to the ovule, and it does this through use of animals and bees and such, which will visit the flowers, and when they land on the flowers, the pollen touches them and sticks to them, and from there they travel to other different trees where the pollen goes through the pistils into the ovule, in the flower buds, from which and where the eggs are stored, and from there the egg and sperm come together to form a seed. This seed, as it grows, matures, sugars around it and other things, nutrients surround it and form a fruit around it. And in our cherry tree, that's pretty obvious, the cherries. These happen to be sour cherries, but that's just the type of tree it is. So seed goes to fruit. Now the fruit serves more purpose than for us just to eat, because it also attracts many animals, I don't know, such as a squirrel, which will come and eat the cherries. And then they travel around, and when they don't chew up the pit, so the seed of the cherry inside the fruit becomes lost somewhere else along the way. So fruit attraction, and from attraction of so once the seed has dropped and is who knows where, maybe in the middle of the sanctuary after the squirrel ran all over the place, if it's lucky, it will germinate into a plant. But keep in mind, that is extremely rare. And from germination of a plant, if it's lucky and all the conditions are favorable, such as weather, temperature, availability of water and nutrients, turns into an embryo and starts growing. Now that embryo, as it grows larger and larger, becomes a sprout, and the sprout becomes a fully fledged tree. Now once the seed is a tree, it can start the process of reproduction itself, all the way back up here. And that is the cherry tree reproductive cycle. Next up, we have the distribution of sugar in a cherry tree, which is very interesting, as I'm sure you know. Okay, so the most important process in this is photosynthesis by far, because it's how the cherry tree produces sugar in the first place. So start off with, that's an R. Start off with photosynthesis. And this is a huge process which takes water and CO2 and uses light energy to make sugar molecules such as glucose. Those sugar molecules are transported They're transported through two main tubes. One of these is called the xylem. Now the xylem transports water and minerals from the roots of the tree, and it's drawn up through the roots of the tree. So that's where the water first gets into the tree, and it's drawn up from the roots using the cohesion tension hypothesis. And this cohesion tension hypothesis really is structured around one simple fact, that during the course of a day, it's really hot, and water's going to evaporate through the leaves of a tree. And the imbalance of water in the tree as it's evaporated kind of pulls water up from the roots. And this is also supported by the cohesion of H2O molecules, or hydrogen bonds, which I'm sure we all remember from chemistry. And that's how water and minerals are transported up against gravity through the tree. Now, sugar, on the other hand, is transported in the phloem. And the phloem transports sugar. Now, this is going to get either stored or used pretty immediately. And so sugar that's being used produces fruit. This fruit, so this fruit is being produced using the sugar from photosynthesis or from stored sugar. One key thing is no sugar equals no bloom. That's why it's imperative that cherry trees can store sugar throughout the cold winter months so that they can bloom in the spring when they haven't had much time to produce new sugar. And overall, that is sugar in the cherry tree, and this has been my Chalk Talk. Thank you very much.